Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am doing my Stories by the Month kit for the month of January. Now, what I've decided to do with this kit, I'm definitely not changing the way I document, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have like little photos of little things that happened that I took photos of that I might not normally scrapbook. Like I wouldn't normally scrapbook that I scrapbooked 7 albums for 2016 and I finished it in January 2018. I wouldn't normally scrapbook that. A screenshot of the weather, a schedule, a Facebook screenshot, New Year's Eve food, which is going on January. 500 subscribers. Now I might actually scrapbook this on a page as well, but it's also just going to go in this thing. So what I've decided is that each month I'll do a page for each month. Like this page will scoot into my January 2018 album. It'll probably be at the end of the month, and then I'll have one for February. Now, depending upon how much of the little moments I want to scrap, it might just be the front side, it might be the front and the back. So we'll see. I'm thinking for the first one, it's definitely going to be the front and the back. And my photo printer is going off. And I guess I have one more photo. So it's definitely going to be the front and the back. Okay, let's see what I can do.
Alrighty, so I went ahead and stopped scrapbooking this last night. My husband had come home from work and we spent some time together with the girls. So here I am today trying to squeeze in a little bit of scrapbooking time before I have to go report for jury duty. I needed to cover up that word phrase on the little half wreath thing there. I didn't like it. Or it wasn't, I can't say I didn't like it. It wasn't good for me. So I thought I was going to fill it with a paper, but it did not. My Stays On ink pad is getting a little bit dry, so it's taking me longer and longer to get some ink. So I need to get a, what are those little suckers called? Not a refiller, a re-inker. Got to do that. Got to get that re-inker. Now, I wanted to add a little bit of something to this celebration card, and I wanted it to have a bit of a pop of color. So I went ahead with this reddish piece of chipboard, and now these little Stories by the Month kits are pretty awesome. They definitely have awesome jumping off points to tell some stories that happened during your month. And like I said, these are going to be stories that I might not normally scrapbook. They're probably going to be just little bits and pieces of things that I want to remember. Little text messages or screenshots or just little things that happened in our life that I just don't give it a full scrapbook page for. So I'm definitely bringing in other items from my stash, which is awesome. Because if I can use new items with items from my stash, I am ridiculously happy because that is my jam. Like, I just really love being able to pull things from my stash, and I just love it. It's a good time. Okay, so I went ahead and covered up that yellow card because, again, it wasn't working for me, but the color did because the yellow repeats on that card that I stamped making plans on. Now I went through and flipped through my 4x6 cards, and this card actually came in an Allie Edwards kit as well. It was the Wild Story kit, and I had got that as a trial and then decided it really wasn't my thing because there was just so much of her handwriting in it, and I really just don't want a lot of other people's handwriting in my videos. Oh my word, in my albums. So there are times where I'm going to be covering up, or I won't use something because it is someone's handwriting. So that's what it is. Now I did go ahead and tried that little plus paper again to fill in the little wood veneer, and no, it didn't work. I decided to turn it over and fill it with white, and that made me happy. I enjoyed that. So I added these 2 little enamel stars, and they came from a Citrus Twist kit. And I used that color because it's kind of in between the photo yellow color and the yellow over on the left side of the page. So it kind of goes. So I just decided to add that little bit there. And then just a banner on all of those albums where it says something like a new, what does that say? If I would be still a second, I could read it. A new story starts now. And I thought that was definitely appropriate because I had finished the 2016 albums and needed to start the 2017 albums. So this month, it's definitely going to be a front and back. So maybe it'll be February and March that go together, or maybe it won't be. We'll just see how that goes. So I decided to go with Party On, and I used the Hooray chipboard. And I know that is her handwriting. I know that's someone else's handwriting, but it doesn't necessarily look like it's someone else's handwriting. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it makes sense in my head, and as long as it makes sense in my head, we're all good, right? Okay. Now, I went ahead and pulled out my Distress ink to write now, and then I practiced writing with this gold Sharpie pen that says "You are a YouTuber," and I just went ahead and dotted along that card, and that card is representing the 500 subscribers picture, because when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, if I can just get to 500 subscribers, that would be a freaking miracle, and then I can actually say I'm a YouTuber. Like that was the milestone in my mind that I would be able to say I'm a YouTuber instead of I have a YouTube channel. No idea where it came from. It was just some random number that I thought about, so that's what I went for. Now, I went ahead and trimmed off the white pieces for that New Year Bring It On card, and just went ahead and layered it over on this 4x6 card. So I finally got that plus sign paper in, so whoop whoop for that. That was exciting. And then I just felt like that label sticker that I placed down, didn't really want it there, but as you could tell, it stuck to the photo because these are not sent out photos. I printed these at home. So I decided to just layer up a sticker on there to make it work. Decided also that I did not need to embellish those 2 photos, so I'm just going to put them in the pockets. And then I'm sitting here, I'm looking around, and I'm trying to think of what I can use to cover up that begin again. But I had to leave for jury duty. So I am back after jury duty, and greatest thing ever, drove out there to the courthouse and parked, walked into the courthouse, went up the elevator, checked in at the window, and they said, "You're excused. You won't be able to be called again until 2020. Have a great day." So I came back home. So less than 2 hours, and I was doing my jury duty thing. So I pulled out these cork stickers from Chamel, and I believe they are the True Story stickers. I believe so. I believe it's the first collection. So they're old, and I like them because they're cork, and I like cork, and they're also thin, so that is great as well. So I just pulled out some flowers and layered them over the parts of the text that poked through, and then it turned out pretty good. So I decided to use 2 pieces of chipboard over that little wreath thing, and I just added January to it. Now, when I was thinking about writing January really large across the top or stamping it out or something, but I decided to go a different way. Now, I wanted to add some more phrase stickers, so I grabbed my phrase stickers from Gossamer Blue, and they're just a lighter shade of blue than the card, so that worked out pretty well, and I decided to go ahead and add a few enamel dots there. Now, I also brought a light bulb for that making plans card just because I felt like I had the wood veneer at the bottom and I had this cork at the top. So I needed that brown color again. And apparently I felt like I needed it some more. Now this chipboard is sticky. It is not like American Crafts stuff at all. It is stuck. So that adhesive actually tore up part of the card. So I did not move it over as far as I wanted it to, but I'm still happy with where the chipboard and the arrow is placed. So I'm just trying to figure out what in the world I'm going to be doing up here for 2018, because that is what's going to go up there. And I'm kind of looking through my stamps right now, and I probably should have cut that out. I decided not to do it. I thought I stamped right now. I guess not. Okay. So just sitting here and I have no idea what I'm doing. I think I'm just looking at this thing, trying to figure out what I want to do. Because I know that I'm going to, those lines on that bottom 4x6 photo are definitely going to be filled with journaling. And hooray, 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 I found my large number stamps. And these are from Autumn Leaves. Do you guys remember Autumn Leaves? I miss Autumn Leaves. There are some scrapbooking companies that I just really miss. And Autumn Leaves is one of them. I have a couple of the stamp sets from Autumn Leaves, and I really like them. So I do pull out my Tim Holtz stamp positioner. And I was nervous that they weren't going to stick. And then I'm using my Stays On ink pad, and I am tapping it all over the place because the ink pad is not very juicy. And it turns out great, and I'm super happy with that. So now what I'm doing is just stamping it off a little bit so that the Stays On ink isn't on there. So now I am finished with those, and I'm flipping back over to the back side. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of like all over the place with this. I'm on the front, on the back, and I just can't do these pockets in order. Like I can't sit there and think, okay, this pocket's done now, that pocket's done now, I'm going to move to this one. It doesn't work for me that way. It doesn't work in my mind. When I'm scrapbooking regular layouts, I'm kind of all over the page. So when I'm scrapbooking pockets, it kind of makes sense that I'm all over the page. I really hate having only to do one thing at a time. I kind of like having multiple things going on. And there are two thoughts on that. Some people are like, wow, you are great at multitasking. And then there are some people that are like, wow, you obviously can't give 100% to anything because you're split up between a bunch of tasks. Now, I would say that when I'm doing each of the tasks in turn, I am giving 100% in that moment for that task. So, there you have it. Now, I have this little metallic bowl on my table here, and it's just got some fun little things in it. And one of those fun little things are these enamel hearts, and they came from Freckled Fawn's retirement sale. So if you haven't heard, Freckled Fawn is retiring their embellishment kits. I believe March was the last one, and she has decided to go a new direction and put out scrapbooking lines, basically, instead of just embellishment kits. So my fingers are super crossed. My fingers, my toes, and my eyes are all crossed that she's going to still continue to offer some of my favorite embellishments from Freckled Fawn. And I love like the enamel hearts and the enamel dots and a lot of the stickers. Like they have a lot of good things that they offer, and I hope that they continue to do so. Okay, so now I'm just going to add my journaling, and I'm just journaling about the photos. You know, just that's what journaling is on a scrapbook page, right? You're usually journaling about the photos or something that relates to the photo, right? I mean, I'm not going to just sit there and start journaling about, I don't know, a car mat. I don't know. I don't even know where that thought came from. So I did journal on the lines all the way across this one, and I am happy with how this turned out. I really liked the journaling all the way from the top to the bottom of the card, and then just having that little, oh goodness, I guess that long 2 minutes of jury duty I served must have wore me out today. Sorry about that, guys. I just really like the look of this journaling all the way across and something decorative in the center. I think it's pretty cool looking, so it makes me happy. And there we go. I'm going to wrap that up and put it in the pocket. And there it is. There is my January stories by the month. Pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. So stop back next time for February.